Hi, today we are going to move to indexing, array indexing. So everything we are dealing with, like list, we call it list in other contexts in Python, but in NumPy we call it array. You can still call it array because they are all conveying the same um, information, which is collections of data type, or that's collections of several elements in a saved in a single variable. Now, the we are looking at the indexing now. So let me just write it here. Markdown. That's sorry. Yeah. Okay. Um, just so I want to do markdown. Let me just give it stuff. Sorry. Array indexing. Let me call it array index. Okay. So in this case, let me just take array indexing. So yeah. So let me come to this place now. In this case now, let's look at stuff like this. Let me just say, um, you're already familiar with this. Let me just say data. Let me just say info. Let me just call it info now. So let me make my screen bigger. Okay. So you have info. Let's say several even numbers. Let me just say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm just taking a single dimension right now. So if you move further, please you permit me to run my numpy again at the top so that it should not say it's not recognized. Okay, I've run it now. So um the first thing we're going to do is mp dot array. Yeah, so pushing that info inside info. So when you're pushing that info, let's equate it to x. Let me just equate it to x. So it's to be converted now to be converted to um a np array. Okay, so if you have something like this now, let's assume you can also write it like this. If you don't want to write it like this, you can write it like this. You can write it like this. Okay, so maybe I'll leave it like this so that you don't get confused. So let me write it like this. Okay, info. So for instance, you have something like this. Let me just run it. It's not going to give me anything. It's np is not defined because it's not recognized from there yet. Mp. Let me just run it here. Okay, so let me come back there and run it again. Okay, so it's not showing me error again. Now we are going to look at this now. So if I want to print, let me just print stuff like this. Info, print info, info. So if you want to get the first element, in array generally in programming, the first position is starts counting from zero. Like in number sense, you say this is first position, second, number 2, 3, number 4. But in computing generally, it starts counting from zero. So the position is called index. So if you want to access an array indexing actually deals with the way to access the position of an element. If you want to access any element in an array, that process is called indexing. So you have to know its position first. So okay, you guy in position 5, come out. So for you to bring it out, you have to pinpoint or target the position it is located. So if you want to do that, the first position is 0, second position is 1. So position 0 is the first element. So if we print it now, it's going to give us 2. So element 2 is the one that is in position 0. So if you want to do that again, you can just do another one. You can find a whole lot you want to find, info. So position 1, you should know that should be 4, right? Position 1, that should be 4. So that is 4. So you say print, let me take this one, info. So I have -1. So -1 should know that -1 is the last element. You understand? So it's counting from -1. If you have done the fundamentals of Python, so it's still the same like list to access. So but if you are going to 2 dimension, it's another level of stuff. You understand? So let me just deal with 2 dimension here right now. Let me just say 2 dimension dash 2 dimension 2d the index. Let me just say index. Okay, so if you want to deal with 2 dimensions, let's assume that you have, let me just take the 2 dimensions, like, please let me just name it x. So let's say it's even number 2 let me say odd number, please. 1 3 5 7 9. Okay, that is it. Then the other one again, let me just make it the next so that you get better understanding. 2 4 6 8 10. Okay, so you group all of them together, because you can group all of them together to show that it's a single two-dimensional stuff. Okay, so if you bring it now, let me just say create it to y np now, so I'll convert it to an array, np array. So I have this one here now. So in this case, let's just say x now. We are pushing the x now, so it's now an array. So if you want to get y, so in this case, two dimension. Now you are going to locate it. If you want to locate something in a two-dimensional plane, you are going to take note of the position in the row and the column level. Its position relative to the row and relative to the column, just like in your graph, your xy axis. So you want to know xy position, so that will show you the exact position in that space. You understand? So that is the same thing we are doing. So the first one is your row. So if I do like this, my position in the row, let me say position 0. Who is in position 0, comma, let me just say 0. So the first item, that means telling you that the first item, which is this one now, that is the first item in the row. The first row, which is the row, this is the second row. So the first row, the first item is the first row is 1, and its position, and its row, that is its column position. So this is the first column, this is column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5. This is the first row, row 1, row 2. So it's just 2 rows we have. So of course, we start counting from 0. So this is position 0, position 2 in terms of row. Then in terms of column, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So who is in row 0 and column 0 is 1. So if you print this now, let me just print it out. Print it out now. So you see what it's going to give me. So you can see it's giving me 1 now. So if I print again, let me just say position, which is in y, position 0, comma 1. So what does it mean? It means that who is in the first row, which is first row is this, and the second column should be 3, right? Second column is 3. So if you check now, it's going to show me 3. So that's how you do for two-dimensional index. So you can take it advanced to 3 dimensions. If it's 3 dimensions, it's going to be 3 coordinates. You're going to consider 3 coordinates. You understand? Just like x, y, z axis. Okay. So we're going to stop here right now. That's simply how indexing work. So we look forward to the next class, and do have a bright day.